And welcome, Lynx here. We are playing ALLBLACK Phase 1, another chapter, which title I didn't manage to grasp. Anyway, 24th of June 2010, Mombasa outskirts, 9:08. Go, or none of us will make it, she said that desperately. For the first time, I know the feeling of being pushed, and it is terrible. A bright smile decorated her frightened face, like a rainbow during a rain, beautiful yet despicable. Those images are seared in my brain. I can live without forgetting it, even right now as I walk towards the totaled silver sedan that caused all of this. In my hand is a gun. I lost my sidearm when I fell off the truck, but I still have another one in my jacket. It's loaded enough with enough bullets to unleash my fury, and I already released its safety. Revenge. I don't care, I just can't contain this anger. From this upside down driver door window, a bloody figure struggles to get out. He crawls out by pulling his whole body forward, using his left hand. His right shoulder is rigid, yet his right hand is being dragged like a dead snake. His whole body except for his left hand and his neck are broken. After walking close enough, I stop, looking down heavily at the crawling maggot still clinging for his life. That is, until his left hand touches my right foot and he notices my presence and promptly stops and looks up at me. He raises his vision as high as he can until his eyes meet with mine. I stare at him disdainfully, as right now I am the ultimate judge of his life or his death. Please, I... Shut up. What do you want from me? We are just ordered to capture you. After you immobilized all this team. He answered choking air, blood, and his own vomit after every few words. And no witness. What about all the people watching our stunts today, huh? Are you going to kill them too? Coughing, Marco chokes when trying to breathe through his nose, now breathing through his mouth. I guess his trachea is broken, which makes talking a lot harder. You brought this on her. If you never approach her that day. Stop talking like I'm the evil one here. She was a witness! Marcos shouted, unleashed all the words he wants to say in one breath before I can finish yelling at him. He is still the least menacing figure between us, but his shout managed to silence me for a moment. She was a witness. She made contact. She knew your existence. Those are the criteria of being a witness. My existence? What does my existence have something to do with her? You're a killer, Lieutenant! When you are a killer, it is just essential. But if someone knows about you, they need to be taken care of. Then again, amidst these desperate gasps, was the statement that I kept hearing. They know nothing about me, but they can confidently assume that I'm a killer, a murderer. So far I have seen what I'm capable of, and indeed, they are not something that ordinary people can do naturally. I was trained, but despite of everything I have done, I know that I'm incapable of taking the life of another for no reason. Say it again, punk. Again, after feeling resolved earlier this morning, emotion got the best of me. This time, anger controlled my right hand. That's left hand, but yeah. The gun I hold towards Marco's head, while grief clouded my vision. I am a killer. I am a killer. I am a killer. Yeah. Marco speaks without hesitation, despite the agonizing pain. He continues pausing every word. A glint of fear can be found within his eyes, yet he persists to provoke me. Before he utters the last word, he took a breath and holds it. Everything in the whole world seems like pausing all their activities, making me unable to hear anything but Marco's voice. Kill. Blam. His peaks said what? Let's get some more light now. His pig said his last. What the fuck does this mean? He said his last words, but before he can finish, a bullet shell releases from my gun's chamber after I squeeze the trigger. The bullet blast pierces Marco's head above his right eye. Before his brain shuts down, his reflexes kick in and he pulls his head backwards, and ineffectively dampening the bullet's velocity. My first direct kill. After his head lands lifelessly onto the asphalt, blood starts to pour out from the entry wound. A red puddle forms, but before it can spread to my shoes. I left. I don't want this. On my shoes. How dare he? How dare he bleed on my shoes? Okay, where is it? Feeling satisfied, I walk around the overturned silver sedan from its front seat. Behind it is halted traffic, 4 lanes of cars filling the 3 freeway lanes. Still limping, I approach a black convertible at the front of the line, as it seems to be the fastest car among the others. As I approach, some of the drivers curse at me, but when I point my gun at them, they go silent. The black convertible owner slowly backs away with his hands raised as I walk toward his car driver's seat with my gun pointed at him. Other drivers surrounding me try to be a good student and fight, but when I move my gun and aim at them, they refrain. Ooh, nice. Fortunately, the owner of the convertible left the key intact. The engine's still running. After I enter the car and close the door, I immediately accelerate and leave the crime scene. When I pass through the broken road for the last time, I can't help but remember the very last view of Vicky. Funny. Reminiscing hurt my anger, but made my grief grow even stronger. I remember how nice she was then. She was nobody to me, not even the white figure I dreamt about, yet losing her caused so much pain. In a way, what Marco said was true. I brought this up on her. If I am a killer, the path I walk must be filled with this kind of traps. I can't get myself attached. I can't simply give my trust to any more soul. The view of the empty freeway soon looks blurred. The very first thing I thought if I was dreaming, but no. All the ages from my wounds feel so real, but despite how hard I yearn for it, no, I'm not dreaming. After I move my left hand and touch my left eye, I realize my heart hurts so much that I start crying silently. I don't so emotionally, tears just drip out from my eyes. It is not me who is crying, more like an unknown part of me. It's a really nice car inside, by the way. Disgusted by myself, I wipe the tears and calm myself. Fortunately, I have the whole road for myself, so I don't have to worry about crashing into anything. And since I'm still on the outskirts of the city, I don't think I'll find any freeway exit soon. Euro FM? Okay, let's check it out, if there's something like that. Euro FM. There is radio station. European radio. Oh, it's an online radio in Estonia. What? We're changing the country again? No way. Oh, come on! How is that not... A few minutes later, after cruising on the freeway for a moment looking for an exit, I accidentally take a peek at the rear view mirror. From there I notice another car occupying the freeway, one that looks very familiar, yet I briefly forget about its existence. It's a burgundy SUV, that's not an SUV. Vicky and I left when we jumped the overpass. After coming this far, I haven't escaped from their reach. The SUV is closing in at alarming rate. The car I drive is fast, but unfortunately it is automatic and I can't make it accelerate any faster. And what, you want to tell me that Toyota is catching up to a Mercedes? an SUV is catching up to whatever convertible. I don't know how fast convertible would be when it comes to Mercedes, but I'm pretty certain they would overtake. This is not an SUV, by the way, again, but I'm pretty sure it would overtake this one. I don't care about free games on GOG. Not before long, the SUV managed to catch up with me. It even managed to ram the backside of my car. When it tries to ram again, I shift to the left to avoid it and then shift again to the right to prevent the car from passing me. The SUV tries to pass a few times, but every time I move my car in front of it so it can't go through. Is it a dick move that I actually did this in real life? Kind of. Because I was about to enter the roundabout, but you know, I see, okay, this guy is like 2 meters away, so I won't make it, right? And some asshole decided to honk at me. So later, when I got onto the roundabout and got off at the second turn, the guy apparently went the same track, right? So every time I saw him blinking, I would be like, yep, I'm blinking too, and going into that side. So fuck you, you're not overtaking, bastard. For honking for no reason. And no, I was changing it so nothing would happen. I just didn't want him to overtake. I just wanted him to be angry. Just like he made me. Anyway, after a few tries, the passenger window starts to roll down, and figure pokes out with a gun in the hand. It was Audi, that bitch. This explains the different pace of the SUV compared from last time. This time, the vehicle seemed more aggressive. Seeing Audi points his gun at my car, I shift my car right, to make it harder for him to lock me. But every time I do that, Darius, the SUV driver, also followed me, giving Audi a better place to aim. Fortunately, before I reached the barrier on the center of the freeway and ran out of space to shift right, I noticed that the freeway exit is not too far ahead. I try to make as little room left before I take the turn to the exit so I can deceive Darius into thinking I will not take this it. Take this it? Take the exit. When I am almost past the exit, I sharp turn steering wheel left, causing the SUV to pass as I smoothly head for the descending exit ramp. We have more agile car, yes. Without any traffic on the freeway, that only gives me a small lead. Where the hell are we now? It's like we're changing countries, man. Constantly. The exit ramp leads to a tunnel below the freeway, where then it merges to a street in the downtown area of the city. I take a while to figure out where I should go next, and before I know it, the SUV appears behind my car. How? Seeing it, I indefinitely take the street to my right. My initial plan to lose them and take the train shot. Wait, I thought the train plan was like ages ago, and we already abandoned it because we got onto the track and so on. As I have lost the chance, since I don't know where the train station is, I will just improvise. You have a vehicle with a GPS there, man. Unlike on the freeway, these downtown streets are populated, other cars are using the road. Also, unlike the taxi I drove earlier, and due to my condition, I have a hard time rolling the streets now. Audi released some bullets, one hitting the back side of my car, the other landing on the asphalt. He's trying to shoot my car's tire. I mean, technically it is the best way, right? Unlike before, the difficulty of eluding the SUV has increased. First, Darius is far more aggressive compared to Audi when driving. Second, the car I'm driving is handicapped in speed and control. And third, since I'm wounded quite badly, I can't drive as agile as earlier. I mean, yeah, I guess so. Then again, I mean, I don't know, man. I never driven an automatic. I don't want them to catch up with me, so I think of creating an obstacle. The easiest way of these being to cause chaos and destruction. That way there might be collateral damage. I hate the plan, but I have to try. But still trying my best to outrun them. I can see my first chance on the next intersection. The traffic light for this road is still red, while the traffic light on the road that intersects it is green, and vehicles are going and coming from both left and right. If I manage to slip through the gap of those cars, it could give me time. With determination and after exhaling a deep breath, I step on the gas pedal even deeper and my convertible accelerates slowly but enough to keep me in lead. When I'm about to reach the intersection, I suddenly shift onto the right lane, but the SUV anticipates this and also shifts right. When both our cars are racing the right lane, another car enters the lane and comes from the opposite direction. Seeing this, I immediately hit my horn and blast it as loud as I can to alert the incoming car's driver. The driver hits my warning and by turning sharply on the sidewalk and hitting the wall of a building. Because I blared my horn too early, the traffic from the bends noticed our arrival. Some of them hit their brakes before crossing the intersection. But my plan was not thwarted, as at the middle of the intersection, two cars are trying to clear out. Those two cars are about to pass each other and I only have enough space to squeeze through. Without slowing down, I keep advancing while the distance between me and those cars closes in when they make a larger gap between them. I managed to squeeze through the gap smoothly while holding my breath. Despite so, I scraped the left side of my car against the rear side of one of the vehicles, which is probably good because it might become an obstacle for the Toyota. As I cross the intersection, I enter the left lane again and race on. Now that I'm through, I take a little time to relax. Or maybe not. Whoa. I jump when I look back to see the SUV did not even slow down and try to avoid the cars. The SUV just runs through the rear side of the green sedan like a ball through the Matador's bullet. Mullet, whatever. The green sedan is thrown, to the Matador's muleta. Yeah, the green sedan is thrown into the air. I'm basically at the level of the game when it comes to speaking. It's just like the writing. The green sedan is thrown to the air before landing on its roof against the frontmost car's windshield. I didn't say the front windshield. There's only one windshield, by the way, now that I think about it. Waiting for the traffic lights to change green. Yet while causing this much destruction, the SUV keeps going without accelerating. Again, that Toyota is not an SUV. Seeing this, I discard the impulse of slowing down and instead deepen my step on the gas pedal. You know what? I wish we could see the entirety underneath, but I mean, I guess it is an automatic, given there is no gearbox. But then again, I mean, this seems like a fairly new thing, so I guess the switching gears can be also in the wheel, right? Anyway, okay. But no matter how deep I step on it, I still can't outrun that SUV, which is weird. After this, I can't find any other opportunity to impede the SUV's run, even until this street ends at a T-junction. Seeing the rear view mirror, I knew my situation is bad. With the SUV tailing me awfully close, only about less than another car length, it would be unwise to make a turn. I knew I saw a small alley between two flat houses across the junction, but it's not wide enough for my car to pass through. If only it could, I could lose the SUV. I'm running out of choice and don't have any other option than taking the gamble, and taking the turn. Even without taking the traffic from the bends, I guess Gambit would work as well. Anyway, even without taking the traffic from the bends into consideration, I turn my steering wheel sharply to the left just before the street ends. Just as I thought, when I turned left, I spelled my own doom. Yeah, because if he goes straight as well, you are literally at his hit. I would turn right, to be honest. Because to turn left, you are probably not going from the left side of the road, right? Maybe if it was one way, yeah, you can go so close to the end, and that way you avoid getting hit. You probably are turning from the middle of the road or from the right side, so you are basically, you have this moment when he goes straight and you are with the side to him. You are getting wrecked. You should turn right from the right side, that way you can avoid him, kind of. I mean, he can still hit your back, but it's better than getting smashed head on, more or less. Or should I say, side on. Without an anchor locking my car's rotation in the slightest radius, it is impossible to turn without decelerating. I mean, you could try drifting. So as my car skids left, My car's rear side becomes a sitting duck to be nudged. Oh, so you got hit in the back only. Okay. With the smallest bump, the SUV sends my black convertible spinning. Neither accelerating or braking helps them from me spinning like a top. My car makes a full spin before its right side crashes against the wall of a building. And you lose consciousness or something, yeah? No? The spinning makes me dizzy, but even in such pressure I can still function properly. I mean, you can't really function properly from the very beginning, man. You don't remember anything, so you don't really function properly. Soon I remove my seatbelt and scoot onto the passenger seat before exiting car through the left door. No. No. And no. The passenger seat is clearly the right door. Just as I step out, I realize the SUV took a dead turn right, after throwing my car off the road and also crashed to the wall of another building. Unlike me, they are slower in recovering, but not before long. I notice the driver's door start to open and know that they are about to chase me again. I try to look around. It would be nice if I could find another vehicle, that way I could escape easily. But apart from us, there is no one else around. Is that so? I have no other option, I have to run. But I can't simply run away, as this street leaves me in the open, so instead of running away from them, I run towards them. Between me and them there is a small alley between the two buildings. I run to it and enter the passage right before Darius can turn and aim his gun toward me. While tracing the alley, I drew my gun and kept an eye at the street. As soon as I see Darius about to enter the passageway to chase me, I shoot. My shot doesn't hit him, but it's enough to force him to hide. That sucks. I'd rather hit him. This alley is too long to escape before they can chase me or draw a gun and shoot, so I try to open the back door of building to my left. After I spin the handle, I find out that the door is locked. It's too late to continue running, so I take the chance to breaching it. Really? I fire another shot when I see Darius peek out from behind the corner. It sends him hiding again while I kick the door's lock. The door is quite sturdy, taking me 4 kicks to breach, but I think my wounds make my attacks weaker. After the door swung open forcefully, I enter a doorway and start running again. Without knowing where I am going, I blindly run through this back room until I reach what seems to be the kitchen. I rummage inside the empty flat house and realize that except for the front door and back door I came from, there are no other exits. While standing clueless in the foyer, I notice from a window that is facing towards the street that Odie is approaching the front door with a gun in his hand. I don't see Darius with him. Yeah, I mean, I feel like entering the building was stupid, but maybe I'm wrong. And since Darius was following me into the alley, I believe Darius has been waiting for me in the back room. I was trapped, nowhere to go, and the only place I haven't checked is upstairs. But even if I try to check, I fear I won't find any escape route. I mean, you can get to the rooftop and probably try getting onto another building? I don't know how... I mean, that freaking alley was pretty narrow, so, you know, you could try jumping between buildings. Wait, I think I have found an escape route. Without thinking about the plan, I immediately run away from the foyer and immediately head for the stairs. Damn it! How was he there? I curse when I find Darius sneaking in the hall. Fortunately, before he can fire a shot, I pull backward in the foyer and hide behind the threshold. Knowing his presence, I can hear his footsteps. His steps are quite faint, silenced by the carpeted floor. Don't have carpets in your house, I guess. It figures why I did not realize his arrival earlier. He approaches, heightening the suspense, but giving me time to adjust my breath. With both my hands clutching my gun's handle, I wait for his appearance. I can sense his presence behind the wall I'm sticking on. And soon, as I see his head emerging from the archway, I swing my right hand toward his face, trying to hit him with the back of my hand. Unexpectedly, he blocks my attack by catching my wrist with his left hand before the back of my hand can hit his face. He anticipates my attack. His grip is extraordinarily firm. No matter how hard I pull my hand, I can't break free, not even budging his hand. Just use your legs for fuck's sake. His expressionless face does not scare me, but him slowly moving his gun his right hand towards my hip does. I need to move before he strikes me with a sure kill shot. Soon as I realize it, I let my grip off and drop the gun I hold in my right hand. As the gun falls, I take a step left while my right hand is still clenched. With my left hand, I swiftly catch the gun before it can fall to the floor and aim it right towards his face. Seeing my maneuver, Darius breaks his grip and slaps my gun off my left hand with his left hand because you are too fucking slow to pull the trigger. I foresaw his movement, not bothering to look where my gun was thrown. That's bullshit. While he's distracted, I swing my right hand to seize the gun he's holding. Swift damage to snatch his gun, but before I can aim it, he boots me hard in my chest. See? He can use legs unlike you! His kick throws me aback until I stumble on a footrest and collapse my back. I also lost my gun in the process. Still unable to suppress the pain, I notice that Darius is approaching. He kicks the footrest towards me, and since I am unable to anticipate his attack, the footrest hits my face and I'm thrown down even further. If it were not for the couch I land on, I may have landed on the floor. Without slowing down and while I can dodge, Darius continues attacking me, hitting my right temple. This guy knows what he's doing. His punch is so strong my body gets thrown to the couch. Soon after I hit the couch, he pins on my chest and pounces on my face. His barrage of punches lands on the sides of my face without me able to block. When my vision starts to get blurry, I blindly reach for anything I can use as a weapon. Fist after fist that lands hits on my face while I search. I keep feeling the pain until my face feels numb. Fortunately, my right hand touches an object, something thin, tall and glossy, on the end table beside the couch. I close my eyes, and soon after I grab the object and hit Darius' temple left with it. It breaks into pieces and some of the shards fall on my face after breaking. Only after I opened my eyes I realized that I had hit him with a vase. He does not scream in pain, but takes some steps backward while hunching down and holding the left side of his face. Despite my blurry vision, I take the chance to finish him. A part of me wants to kill him, but my vision is still too vague to look for the thrown guns. Instead, I just approach him, wanting to knock him out and prioritize my escape. But you fail, huh? First I drop the broken vase and then approach him. Why would... Dude! You have a broken vase! It is a sharp object! Use it as a weapon! When I'm close enough, I raise his body by his shirt collar. Despite my many strikes, he refuses to fall. Finally, I slap his ears with cupped palm full of air. While his internal compass is temporarily broken, I topple him by kicking his left knee. I hear him groaning weakly. He's alive, but I don't see the necessity of finishing him off. Yeah, sure. Don't finish him off. Sure, if you run away, don't be surprised if he's in your freaking mirror 20 minutes later again. Suddenly, a staccato noise comes from the front door. It has been breached, and that noise is my cue to start running. I immediately run away from the foyer and head towards the door. The stairs, sorry. Step by step, I ascend until suddenly a gunshot echoes through the corridor, causing me to stagger. The bullet lands on the step of the stairs, very close but not hitting me. As expected, Odie is standing on the corridor with a gun pointed towards me. Before he can fire another shot, I increase my pace. Fortunately, it does not take many steps to reach the second floor. As soon as I reach that, I take the turn to hide and reach for my gun in my jacket pocket. You don't have it. Damn. I forgot to pick my gun up in the foyer and it's too late to recover it. You even said that you don't have time to look for them. I looked around and found nothing to use as a weapon that is slightly even effective against ranged weapons. While thinking, I hear footsteps from below. Odie is approaching, and since I know I can fight a handgun from a distance, I choose to retreat. I run again and circle the hall until I find another set of stairs. I ascend the stairs and repeat the process until I reach the rooftop. Oh, come on, man. You can easily go... maybe not easily, but you can go around the freaking rooftops. Upon exiting the building, the sunlight, while blinding, is gradually fixed and my blurred vision becomes clear again. From here, I still don't know where I should go, but hearing gunshots from below sets my mind and body to panic mode. Odie is just below the stairs, but fortunately, his shot earlier didn't hit anything since I was standing a ways away from the door. His gunshot gives me cue to start running. The rooftops are tightly gapped, or just separated by a tall wall, which I can scale easily. I ran behind an obstacle, so Odie doesn't have clear sight to aim. Some buildings are taller than the others, giving me some advantages and disadvantages. Since I just found out that I also am quite agile in climbing, I can turn many of the disadvantages into my own advantages. Odie, who I shot in the leg a few days ago, is clearly having a hard time catching up. While his limit is his wound, my limit is my stamina. After scaling more than 10 of buildings' rooftops, I start to have a hard time breathing. I know I haven't lost Odie. I think he's behind me for at least 5 or 6 buildings. But when I see a perfect resting spot, I hide behind a water tank tower and adjust my breath. Suddenly another gunshot can be heard from distance. Oddly, the gunshot originated from another direction than where Odie is coming from. It was not coming from behind me, but it was coming from left. See? Told you who should have freaking finished him up. God damn it. Ah, what a crappy main character. When I tried to look, I noticed Darius standing on the roof of a building across from where I am. He has recovered and is now rejoining the chase. Oh, I don't need to finish him up, no! There we go. I don't know how he managed to catch up this soon, but this wasn't the time. Because you did a crappy job, that's how he managed. I gathered and summoned all the strength left in me, but even standing takes quite a great effort. When I look behind, I find Odie is awfully close. Come to think of it, Darius might have been distracting me while Odie closes in. Seeing that, I forced my body to move. I still don't know where I should go to lose them, but a view in afar gives me an idea. A few buildings from where I stand, I can see a construction site of slightly taller building than its neighboring buildings. Where the common buildings around here are at least 3 to 4 stories at most, the construction is a 6-story building. Its crane is operating to get building materials to its top. If I time it correctly, I can make quite a distance or even lose my tails here. But if I fail, I could lose my life there. With a solid plan, I start to run towards the construction site. Odie, who sees me running, also increases his pace while Darius is still figuring out a way to get to me. Forcing myself to run is a bad idea. My lung capacity is critically depleted, as after scaling 3 buildings, I start to run out of breath. My chest feels like it's burning. I save my stamina for when it will be needed most, letting Odie to catch up with me. The pain causes me to hallucinate. No, it causes you to lose, to see in a blurry way, not hallucinate. It tampers with my vision, giving me the illusion that the last building I'm sprinting on and the construction site itself are rising to the sky and making the horizon look not existent. With the pain in my head and a sudden vertigo, running gets a lot harder. Despite a slowing down, I can't stop, especially since the crane's platform is starting to rise out of my reach. Even worse, I can hear all these footsteps getting louder behind me. I don't need to look behind to know he's almost able to catch me. Just a few more steps. The platform is now seemingly out of reach even if I jump, yet neither of us is slowing down. Everything will be decided when I jump. Oh, Geronimo! When my right foot lands on the finish stage, I push myself upward as strong as I can. As if the high wind has not scared me enough, the illusion my mind created makes it look like I'm jumping between 2 buildings above the clouds. I can feel Odie's touch trying to reach my heel, but he fails to clasp it. He also made the jump despite the platform being clearly out of his reach. I don't need to reach for the platform, despite it rising too high. Only then, when I feel like I'm stepping on the air, I realize that I have done something impossible. Bye-bye! Am I flying? Everything is so light for me. I feel like I can touch the sky. Not the skies within the illusion my mind is playing, but the real skies. Shame, the sensation doesn't last long before I land my feet on the platform. Reaching for the cable that suspends the platform of the crane, I peek below me. Odie, after failing to reach for my legs, is starting to lose to gravity. While falling 4 stories to the ground, a tint of surprise is seen on his eyes, just like it's there on my eyes. Honestly, I'm just as surprised as he is. As soon as I grab the cable that suspends the platform, apart from the illusion from fading, I can also hear the sound of Ody's landing. Ow! It was definitely not a good landing. The sound is faint, almost non-existent, as if he never landed at all. The lack of noise spurs me to look to the ground below. While grabbing one of the 4 branching cables that balance the platform, I peek from the edge. There I can see Odie, and the view of him is quite gruesome. You don't want to see that. He's lying on his back on a stone wall fence that separates the building where we jump with the street behind it. His back is bent backwards due to getting spiked on the stone wall. Considering how high he fell and how deep the curve of his back is, I guess the fall broke his spine, killing him instantly. Ow! Oh, come on, you are here already? Dude! I can't enjoy the view for too long. Not only because it's making me feel sick, but also because I noticed that Darius is trying to get aim of me from the edge of the top of another building. Seeing that, I immediately hide behind sacks of raw cement powder that are also on this platform. But after aiming for quite long, Darius never fires a shot. The construction workers on site begin to shout at me when they notice my presence on the platform, and soon the platform stops raising. I have trapped myself. There is no escape from where I am except dropping 5 stories onto the ground or jumping back on the guarded rooftop where I came from, both having their own consequences. Wait. There is another way I can run that I noticed when I accidentally looked upward. I mean, we can climb up, huh? I can climb the cable suspending the platform and make my way to the construction site. I mean, why would you stop like that when there's someone on it? It's so dumb. After I realized that I can't stay here for too long, I take at Darius, but he has disappeared from where he was standing. I stand and try to look for him, but I can't find him anywhere. Knowing I'm safe, I immediately grab the cable and start to climb. It is not long climb until I reach the crane. Apart from agoraphobia, nothing else is affecting me. I keep tracing the crane's hand until I finally reach the construction site stop. And the worker I find off top, you can see him on the left, asks me a lot of questions, but I can't be bothered by him. I chose to just keep walking straight and get to the ladder, as apparently they had not yet built any stairs. With every floor I descend, workers scold me, and some even try to catch me. But every time they try, I break their clamps and push them away, which keeps them at bay for a while. Alas, when I reach the 3rd floor, they start to group up. I keep pushing away and try to make my way through, but to squeeze through them is getting harder. I get surrounded, the human wall of construction workers preventing me from going anywhere. I wish I had some weapon to threaten them, but a pull on my left shoulder forced me to look back. Unprepared, a fist lands on my left temple. The strike throws me forward, away from the one who attacked me, and I land on the floor as none of the workers wanted to catch me for falling. Told you should have finished him up. I look at my attacker, that dark-skinned man wearing white short-sleeved shirt. It's Darius, with a gun pointed at me from his right hand. He disappeared from the building roof to intercept me here. Seeing a gun in Darius' hand, one of the workers tries to disarm Darius by throwing himself on Darius' right hand. It doesn't take Darius much effort to break free from the worker. No thanks, and throw him onto the floor. Twice Darius fired shots at the worker, killing him instantly. The other workers were terrorized by his action. Without saying a word, Darius looked at them, silently telling them to go away. Soon all the workers scrambled in chaos. You have to be crazy to go attack someone with a weapon like that. I knew Darius would attack me again soon, and remembering the last time I had a clash with him, I knew this won't be an easy fight. Under the running workers, I hid myself while crawling, making myself hard to find, but also making it harder for me to look at Darius. I focus on running away. I need to hide before the workers clear from this floor. When I see one on my left, I crawl and hide behind the wall next to some building materials and other tools. There, I start to adjust my breath and think about the situation. Darius has a gun, while I am defenseless, but he doesn't know where I am. Probably. He probably knows. I am at a slight disadvantage here. Gradually the workers running away get lesser and lesser until finally there are no longer workers around. As silence takes over, I get to focusing. It helps to find an answer to my current situation. The best answer is doing a sneak attack, but by the sound of his footsteps, I believe Darius anticipated that by standing in the middle of the room. Knowing this, I can't rely solely on sneak attack. The second best answer is surprise attack, not an ordinary surprise attack, but decoy surprise attack. To my left, I can see some tools and building materials like bricks, sacks of cement. I think I can use them. I pick up a hammer and wield it in my left hand as it's at its heavy end. It will take some serious strength to swing it, but I don't have any other choice. Next, I pick up a brick and strafe left to the end of the wall. From there, I take a peek and I can see Darius is carefully checking the walls. When Darius is checking the wall across the room, I seize the chance to attack. Slowly, I sneak behind him with a hammer in my left hand and brick in my right. This room is too wide to scale before he turns around, and so with Darius about to turn around, I pull my right hand backward, gathering the strength to throw! And right after Darius notices my presence, and before he's able to point his gun at me, I swing my right hand and throw the brick away! I am at his head, or at least his body, but my throw was weak due to my wounds, specifically on my right shoulder. Instead of hitting him on his body, the brick lands on Darius's left thigh. I mean, it still would hurt, I guess. Despite missing my target, it actually works quite effectively, as Darius gets slipped up and falls to his left knee. He ignores his position and tries to aim with just one hand. Noticing that I approach him wielding the hammer with both hands. Just 2 steps away from him, I pull the hammer right, building momentum with my last step and swing the hammer towards Darius's right hand. The hammer hits his right hand right before he can pull the trigger, and I might have even hit his fingers. I mean, if you hit hand, you probably hit the fingers. I don't know how big is that freaking hammer, but yeah. The gun is thrown to my left, landing across the room just before the ledge of the building. The hammer is heavy, and with the condition of my shoulder, I was able to immediately stop its movement. It takes me a while before I can swing again, too long it back, as before I'm able to swing again and continue attacking. Darius recovers and jumps again, which is not a surprise at all, for fuck's sake. He spares my stomach with his right shoulder quite hard, causing me to drop my hammer. I can see he's trying to throw me, which is why I keep my balance by stepping backward, while he keeps pushing me back. He doesn't give up on throwing me, making it harder for me to keep balancing myself by pushing me and shaking my body left and right. I try my best to keep myself standing, and since keeping balance is getting harder, I try to make him let his grip off by elbowing him repeatedly on his nape of his neck. Unfortunately, doing so makes it easier for him to throw me. I lose my balance and slip right. I'm not going to say this shitty word or right word, left word. I don't care. If I fall, he will pin me again. As I was about to fall, I lock his shoulder and his hip and utilize my fall to throw him left. Both of us are thrown to the floor. Our condition no longer suited for combat. It took us long enough to stand again. Usually I'm fast and my durability... You don't know how you are. My durability is unexceptionally high, but there are limits to everything. I'm starting to get sluggish as Darius recovers faster. While I'm still kneeling, trying to suppress the pain from my wounds, Darius approaches, grabs onto my shirt collar and pulls me up. While still holding my collar, he sluggishly strikes my abdomen 3 times until I feel numb from my stomach down, making me barely able to stand. He keeps holding on my collar while I hold to his wrists weakly. Seeing me unable to stand, he keeps me standing by pulling on my collar and staring at my eyes deeply.
Damn you! I've never gotten played this well.
He taunts while I can just listen. My legs are still numb, but I can still move my hands freely. Without responding to his taunt, and while he's still distracted, I let my grip off from his wrist and slip them through in between his grip, breaking away. Then I land my hands on his shoulders, summon all the strength still left in me, and pull his shoulder towards me while I pull my head backwards to build momentum. And then the headbutt. While pulling his face towards me, I swing my neck forward and hit his left cheek with my forehead. Despite being weak since I landed my attack near the wound I inflicted back at the lighthouse, he knocked back.
You little...
I begin coughing, trying to ease the pain in my chest and stomach, and Darius swings his right hand, almost hitting me right on my face if I hadn't evaded by crouching and running below his fist. Unfortunately, I was unable to pull myself up, losing my footing and forced to throw myself to fall on my back onto the floor near the edge of the building. I fall onto something hard, bulgy, and pressing against my back. It's not part of the floor and makes lying uncomfortable. I want to rise, but I can't. The pain all over my body makes me unable to recover. I can only watch powerlessly when Darius shakily starts to pick up the hammer that I dropped earlier. Oh boy! Darius starts to lift the hammer and adjust his breath, preparing to attack. I don't know who went here. I still don't want to believe that I'm a killer, but I can't even roll myself sideways to evade. There are 5 stages to mental breakdown. First is denial, the stage which I am on. I know I don't want to end this way, there has to be something that I can do. No matter how hard I want it, I cannot do anything to make my wish come true. Second is grief. Denying a problem is not happening does not change anything. Choose denial turns into grievance, the fruit of incapability of changing the situation. Third stage, bargaining. That is the most useless stage of all, by the way. When one is in a situation he or she is unable to overcome, despite if the situation was brought over by themselves, they still think that there are still other ways to change the outcome by pleading to the higher power to change the situation. In my case with Darius, but from his ferocious eyes I can see that he is not in a forgiving mood. Since having an episode from the earlier stages did not solve anything, I advanced to the 4th stage, anger. This is a stage where one realizes no one can change their own fate except themselves and get temporarily motivated. Yet ironically, this is also a stage where they realize that motivation alone without action won't bring a change. If one reaches this revelation and yet still cannot overcome their breakdown, they will advance to the 5th stage, acceptance. I am on the edge of the building, staring death in the face, ready to just let it be. I don't care about anything else anymore, I just want to end it and escape from all my problems. So I exhale the air inside my lungs slowly and clear my mind. But heck, even when I reach acceptance I still can't lie comfortably. Something hard is still pressing against my back and stuck between an unfinished concrete floor and my back. Even if I adjust my position, I still don't find it, but slowly I recognize the contour and the texture of it. So back on those 5 stages, I think I left something out. Those stages only apply to the ordinary people. Those who are extraordinary should be able to make their way out of themselves, to throwing themselves back to denial and change the outcome. Oh, don't call yourself extraordinary, man. You fucking suck. You're just lucky, if anything. No, you're fucking lucky. I did the impossible and can do it again. Darius has started to advance. He lifts the hammer over his head, ready to crush me using the wave of the hammer in one swing. Knowing I don't have much time left, I hastily reach the object pinned under my back with my right hand, touching it first until I found its handle with one swift pull. While raising my back to give it room so it can slide off from my back, I pounded its hollowed end at Darius and finally squeezed its trigger. It recoiled immediately after I squeezed the trigger and blasted bullets from its barrel. Without realizing it, I had landed on Darius's gun. It took me long enough to notice it, but I noticed it just in time. The bullet I fired pierced the right side of his chest, directly through his heart and giving him a shock. It makes him unable to support the weight of the hammer, which falls to the floor. Not only that, he also loses his balance, tripping forward and falling to his face onto me. Ultimately, the last damage he does to me is falling onto me. It doesn't hurt me too bad, apart from the awkward position. Erratically I adjust my breath, and soon as I have some of my strength back, I move his rigid body off of me. While still adjusting my breath, I rise and crawl to the nearest pillar to my left. Finally used a normal word! To lay my back against it. I gradually get relaxed, compared from 20 seconds ago. The more I rest, the more I feel the pain over my body ease. This resting session gives me time to enjoy the atmosphere, the high wind, the sound of traffic from afar, and the sound of chaotic crowd on the ground really soothe me. But indubitably, the police will soon arrive. One of the building workers should have called the police soon after the first shot Darius fired here. Right now I have the chance to think about what happened today. I have had more losses than wins. Yeah, I have had more losses than wins. The wins are, I am no longer followed. I can freely go anywhere if I can avoid the police sweat. There were 4 of them. Did we kill 4 of them, not 3 of them? Maybe in that car crash 2 of them were dead? Anyway, I have had more... Okay. The losses are, Vicky, I had officially become a killer, and I don't know what should I do next. I throw away the gun I hold before I start to wipe my dry eyes with the back of my right head thumb resting my forehead there. I am desperate, more clueless and more lost than before. I feel like I want to cry, but I just can't. Where should I go now? Damn it! Several times I wrap my face, once in a while. I reminisce about my last moment with Vicky, how she tried to cheer me up in her final moment. I even am willing to give up the world just to undo it. Dwelling deep within my thoughts and sorrow had distracted me, and I failed to notice someone's presence behind a wall across the room. When he reveals himself, I abruptly point my gun at him. Who's there? The upper part of his body is still shrouded by the shadow cast by the floor's ceiling edge, making it hard for me to identify him. It's you. It is not possible there is supposedly no one else following me, but there is something very familiar with this posture. Before he steps forward and reveals himself, I recognize him. Before he steps into the light and provides confirmation about his identity, I had no longer doubt that that bloody grey shirt wearing figure is me. What the? While smiling grimly at me, he approaches until he's at least 3 steps away from me. His appearance is almost exactly like mine, except for his grim expression and sans the jacket. I remembered him, he was from the dream I had a few moments back. What the hell? Unable to cope with the sight I'm having, I whisper. Actually, I was whispering in my mind, but I was too shocked that I whispered out loud.
Don't be so surprised.
What are you? Last time I saw him, he was inside my head, inside my dream, yet now he's standing in front of me in the same reality where I live. That feeling of doubt that made me try to rise and touch him, but before I managed to stand, he halted me by showing me his left palm.
Don't bother to stand.
Another thing I noticed from him, when he opened his palm, there are distinct half-dried blood traces. I even remember seeing him drenching blood in my dream, only now, not as much.
I'm not real.
What? Since I was still unable to stand, I fell back on my knee, and soon am laying back on the pillow.
I'm not real, I'm you. You're just seeing me because you need me.
I need you? I don't understand in what way I need me to think outside my head. Answer me.
Oh.
Wait, what? He called me... Did he?
Of course you know the reason.
Hold on a sec. Frantic, I hold him from continuing. I need to hear again what he just said earlier. What did you just call me?
Excuse me.
What did you just call me? You know who we are, right?
Did you hear me?
No, I didn't. Say that again.
Fine, you asked for it.
He scoffed in reception, pausing for a second before he opens his lips again and fulfills my request. Okay, if any of you guys watching knows what's written here, please write in the comments, because I have no idea what's written here. I feel like something pierced my head. A very muddling noise suddenly conquers my hearing. Unlike before, when I hear my name being called in my dream, I usually hear nothing, but instead I can hear a very maddening voice. The noise is grating, like a giant pink. I cover my ears and curl forward until I lose my sense of balance and fall on the floor. It has no use. The noise was coming from inside my head. What did he call me? Even while riffing, I try to make out if I can recognize my own name amidst the noise, but nothing. Even after the pink fades, some of its echoes are still bleeping inside my head. It takes me a while and a lot of erratic breathing until I have full control of my hearing again. What the hell was that? I shouted at him angrily, but as I tried to raise my head again, I find that his expression has changed, from the pleasant but grim into cold and full of frustration.
Listen, you little shite.
He snaps his fingers in front of my face and starts talking in a menacing and cold tone, which makes me hesitant to interrupt.
No more questions. You thought about it earlier. You wanted to quit, you wanted to give up.
Unwilling to cut in, I slowly rise, and I force myself to stand. I don't like being looked down on, not even by my own self.
You can't give up, Savvy. You will have to remember. Remember the promise.
What promise?
I can tell you. Just like I can't tell you who you are.
While still trying to stand, he suddenly pulls my collar and stands me straight. He was supposed to be nothing but my imagination, yet he affects my physical movement.
Those are things you have to find out yourself.
But what am I supposed to do? I don't know where I have to go next. Inertly, he moves his eyes away from me, avoiding more eye contact, which makes me uncomfortable. Hey, say something, will ya?
Well, I will if I have.
Suddenly a faint ringtone takes our attentions. We avert our looks from each other toward the noise's source, Darius's lifeless body.
Well, ain't that convenient?
Huh? While the ringtone continues, I move my eyes back towards my other self while... since he was making such remark.
There's your clue,
he says while pointing toward Darius, before turning around and leaving from the same direction he came from.
My job here is done.
Wait, I still have more questions for you! I try to stop him, but he is too far to reach in one step and I don't even know if I can touch him. What about the blood in your hand?
Oh, these are not our blood, but I can tell you.
Wait. I want to catch him and spend 2 steps trying to approach him before he suddenly disappears into thin air under the building's shadow. Damn it! I try to look around, but it only guarantees he really vanished completely. When I'm sure I can find my other self, I immediately rush towards Darius's lifeless body and frisk his pockets. I find a clamshell mobile phone, almost identical to the one I found on audio a while back. It vibrates every time it rings. I mean, that's what phones do most, if you set it up like that, right? I feel nervous, but immediately flip it open and look into the screen. There, a series of numbers of an irregular phone number are displayed under name The Supervisor. I breathe a sigh, trying to calm down, before I finally press the green accept call button and terminate its ringtone and vibrations. Slowly and shakily I put the phone next to the right side of my face. For a moment I can't hear anything from the other side. Whoever is there won't start talking unless I confirm who I am. After a brief awkward silence, I decide to begin our conversation. Hello. There is still no response. I wait for a while, even checking the screen in case the supervisor terminated the call, but the line stays connected. Feeling frustrated, I choose to say something again.
It's you.
Before I can say anything, suddenly a voice responded, and hearing the answer, I don't know what to say next.
6. It's really you, isn't it?
6?
May I ask what happened to Darius?
Darius? He's unavailable to talk.
Oh, you really are something.
What are you talking about?
Of course I'm talking about you, 6.
6? Is that my name?
Oh no, I just like calling you that.
This damn guy. So the supervisor really knows me, and from how he played me, I already dislike him. What do you want from me?
Relax, I just want to take you back in.
To where, Einhorn?
That's right, we're missing you.
Why do you think I would just comply?
Because I have what you want. I have your identity, I have your past, and I know what happened to you.
I'm not the cheap man.
Really? You call unique answers cheap?
Yes. He really knows how to play with me. He knows that I can't get answers from anywhere else. I don't like it, but I'll have to take this offer. Fine, what should I do then?
Come meet me. I'm waiting for you here, in Istanbul.
We are in Turkey? Interesting. That is far away from here. Oh, we are not there, okay.
Just take a plane.
I don't have passport.
We have taken care of the Just Check Audis or Darius's car. We had prepared your documents and some cash in case they have to take you here using public transport.
Either he's smart or stupid. He just gave me away an exit door.
Oh, by the way, don't try to go anywhere else. If you use the passport, we can monitor your international travel.
Don't move! Suddenly a loud shout takes my attention. I was too occupied talking with the supervisor to notice that armed police had arrived.
6?
I'll meet you there tomorrow! At least I was refreshed a bit, but my condition... sorry. No buts. My condition improved and I had my motivation back. It was time for some action. I have to run for now. Sorry, guys.
See you later then, ALLBLACK.
Drop your phone! The police shouted and ordered. I had to disconnect the call and immediately remove the phone away from my ear. I raised my hands to show them I mean no harm, then slowly lowered my hands to the floor. I'm not surrendering. I lower my hands because I can see the floor while standing. And lowering my hands gives me a chance to look at the floor without looking suspicious. With this, I have located the thing I need. The handgun I threw earlier. My opponent is just one policeman. I can easily take him down, but his shots earlier must have alerted someone else. Also, I believe the lower floors must be secured, so I can't risk losing time here. I plan to just escape, but I still need the gun. Seeing my hands lowered, the policeman starts approaching me, lowering his gun. This is the opening I need, and without having to take a breath, I start to push myself forward. I still feel numb here and there, but they can't stop me. The police is startled by my sudden movement, but his reaction time is low. I have so much chance to take him down, but I am focusing myself to run and get my gun. It doesn't take much effort to get my gun, and I don't bother slowing down after retrieving it. I keep running, heading towards another opening, a door on the wall, while putting the gun in my jacket. I might have cleared myself from that unfinished room, but I'm not clear from danger. The police shouting for help after I ran proved the lower floors were secured, meaning I couldn't escape by descending the building. My new plan is to go up. Hastily, I ran toward the ladder and climbed it. When I reached the upper floor, I kicked the ladder down to distance myself and continue run. Wouldn't it be better to get it up? And continue running, climbing more ladders until I finally reached the floor. The roof. The final floor. There is a crane here. I used to move building materials with a platform hanging from its end, fully loaded with sacks of cement powder. This is my escape rope. Okay. There are a lot of bricks scattered on every floor on this construction site, including in the rooftop. But from all of it, I only need one. I pick one red and heavy brick up and enter the crane's cabin. There are many buttons and levers, but it didn't take long before I figured out which one I needed to lower the platform and control the rotation of the crane. After lowering the platform to the height of 3.5 floors, I use the brick to stall the lever used to rotate the crane so it keeps rotating clockwise. The rotation is not fast, but enough. I exit the cabin and cross the crane's arm until I reach its end. Unlike before, when it was stationary, it's now a bit harder due to the wind and vertigo. I get to the hard part of climbing the cable down until I reach the platform. It's not the friction burn that things climbing down hard, but the rotation of the crane making the cable swing. Hanging on gives the illusion of being a man of jungle, except that I don't have the 3 branches to land on. As I climb down, the police officers are shooting at me from the floors of the construction site, but their aim sucks. None of their shots hit me. No, not even close, as shooting from the distance is quite hard. Never mind the crane rotating. I finally reached the platform. I just need to wait until the crane rotates to the angle I want. I kind of wish the crane would move faster, not just to relieve worrying about the police officer shooting me, but also because I might need more velocity to launch myself from the crane. As I am close in towards the neighboring 3-story building, I fire my gun at the cable suspending the platform. The cable is thick, even my grip is barely circling it, which is why I need to weaken it. My first shot tears through half the cable, but there is still enough to hold the weight of the platform and everything on it. Slowly but surely, the crane finally reaches the angle I need and I fire another shot, blasting apart the rest of the cable. Without suspension, the platform starts to freefall, but without enough velocity to reach the rooftop of the neighboring building. Are you fucking kidding me? Is he dropping the thing to fall and then he wants to jump out on the building or something? I feel like that wouldn't work in real life. Still, I have a problem, as such fall will cause serious injury. That is when the sacks of cement come into play. As I am falling, I close my eyes and I lay my back on top of the sacks of cement. It's not a pile of ghost feather pillows, so the landing will be hard, but enough to dampen my fall. Will it? Will it? The platform lands and breaks first, followed by the sacks of cement. I land roughly on top of the sacks of cement. The fall tore open most of the sacks, and the powder particles disperse all over the air, making it hard to breathe and see, but not stopping me from standing and finding the rooftop door. I'm not convinced that would work. From here on, my gateway becomes so easy it felt like I had escaped. Except I haven't. Maybe. Anywho, we are ending here. We'll continue tomorrow, and by that I will actually mean that I also will continue recording tomorrow, because tomorrow I also have a day off. Tomorrow. The video is also tomorrow. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. You know, if you avoid saying leftwards, rightwards, it's less annoying, that's for sure. So yeah. Anyway, All Black Phase 1. Tomorrow. Again, I repeated myself, but whatever, I don't care anymore. Tomorrow we are playing Chapter 6. Hope to see you there. I think Chapter 6 is the last chapter, by the way, so we'll see where it's going to lead. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.